Welcome back to From the Pages, where the paper smells like the arena floor and the type jumps off the page like a clothesline from the top rope. November 1988, WWF Magazine doesn't just arrive in your mailbox, it detonates. A cover shot of the Ultimate Warrior, blazing with electric intensity, eyes like burning comets, muscles flexed as if he's about to tear the staples from the spine and leap into your living room. From the second your fingers hit that glossy cover, you're not reading, you're entering the squared circle. We open with Around the Ring, the magazine's handshake and hype package rolled into one, a short but potent burst of editorial energy that sets the tone. The editor's comments is the battle cry. The WWF is red hot, bigger than ever, and hurtling toward the end of the decade with the force of a runaway freight train. The words are laced with confidence. Titles will change, grudges will explode, and you'll be there for all of it. Then you hit the fan forum, the beating heart of the mag. Letters pour in from across the country. Kids in Hulkamania shirts scrawling their devotion. Teenagers dissecting the Mega Powers Alliance. Diehards rallying for demolition to crush all comers. Others spit venom at the honky-tonk man. Call for Jake the Snake. Roberts to unleash Damien on more unsuspecting heels, or demand to know why Bobby Heenan hasn't been suspended for conduct unbecoming of a manager. The editors print them all, answering in bold strokes, sometimes sarcastic, sometimes sincere, always fanning the flames. The communications channel keeps the pulse, letting fans trade opinions with the Federation and with each other. It's proto-social media, printed in two colors. On the Mat shifts the focus to superstar Billy Graham, a walking Technicolor time capsule of the muscle-bound 70s, still rippling with charisma. The profile reads like a love letter to his flamboyance. Tie-dye trunks, muscle poses that make the crowd howl, a vocabulary straight out of a rock star's diary. The Newsbreakers section delivers on its promise, quick hits of Federation gossip. From surprise returns being whispered about in locker rooms, to match stipulations being negotiated behind closed doors, all while hinting at bigger storms brewing. Then comes the personality profile on Paul Roma. This is pre-Power and Glory Roma, and the photos pop. Thick black hair, steel-cut abs, and that confident grin that says he knows he's a prospect worth watching. The text sells you on his discipline, his early years grinding through smaller matches, and the chemistry with Jim Powers as the young stallions. You can almost hear Gorilla Monsoon's voice in your head. What an athlete, Jess! The WWF trivia test is sprinkled with questions only a real fan could ace. Who did Hulk Hogan defeat for his first WWF World title? How many times has the Intercontinental title changed hands in Madison Square Garden? And you're scribbling answers in the margins like it's a final exam. The Private Eye feature on George the Animal. Steal its peak weirdness. Candid shots of him mid-bite on a turnbuckle pad. Glaring at the camera with that manic stare. Tongue a shocking green. It's half comedy, half cautionary tale. Don't get too close. The WWF interview with the Ultimate Warrior is pure madness in print. His words tumble like an avalanche. Talk of cosmic destinies. Battles in realms beyond comprehension. Energy from the gods coursing through his veins. Between the rambling war-paid prophecy. The magazine drops in explosive action shots. Warrior hitting the ropes in a blur. Hoisting jobbers overhead like sacks of flour. Face contorted in that primal yell that shakes the hard camera. Next, Battle of the Titans. The Brutus Beefcake scandal expose. It reads like a pro wrestling courtroom drama, complete with the evidence, the testimonies, and Brutus's own fiery defense. Whether you believed the scandal or thought it was just storyline fuel, the piece leaves you with a clearer picture of a man who insists no one will ever take his clippers or his pride. Is there a plot against Randy Savage? Grabs you with a shadowy photo of the Macho Man, shades down, head tilted in suspicion. The copy teases the idea of a locker room conspiracy, jealous contenders, plotting managers, even friends whose handshakes might hide a knife. It's speculative journalism with just enough what if to make you side-eye every segment you've seen on Superstars. Then the main event of the magazine, SummerSlam coverage. The double-page spreads are war posters in living color. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, arms raised in victory. The Ultimate Warriors sprint to glory in a record-smashing Intercontinental title match. Demolition retaining through pure brute force. Every bout gets its moment, from the undercard slugfests to the headliners that left the crowd hoarse. Each match recap reads like a blow-by-blow radio call, with captions that punch as hard as the clotheslines they describe. We cool down only slightly for the Hart Foundation versus the Rougeaus. The feature breaks down the feud in surgical detail. Bret Hart's calculated mat work, Jim Neidhart's blunt force approach, Jacques Rougeau's smirking arrogance, Raymond Rougeau's technical finesse. Every exchange, from cheap shot blindsides to clean wrestling holds, is chronicled, ending on a note that this war is far from over. Haku as king gives the Tongan powerhouse the royal treatment, outlining his tournament victory, his coronation by Bobby Heenan. And the growing fear in the ranks. The photos show Haku in crown and cape, but the text reminds you that underneath the regal facade is one of the most legitimately dangerous men in the sport. The WWF Lowdown gives you the kind of gossip you swear you won't repeat, but can't wait to tell your friends. Who's been traveling with who? Which arenas are being scouted for big shows, even hints at new signings. Wrestler's rebuttal hands the mic to Bobby the Brain Heenan, who scorches the page with his insults and justifications, making every point sound like gospel, even when it's pure heel spin. We wind down with the WWF crossword, where every clue is a nod to an angle, a title reign, or a catchphrase. And caught in the act, a photo essay of unguarded moments, superstars laughing backstage, making faces for kids, and breaking character just enough to remind you they're human. Maybe. By the last page, the ink is under your fingernails, and the roar of the crowd is in your ears. This wasn't just reading. It was being there, seat shaking beneath you, knowing that the next chapter of WWF history is already being written for next month's issue.